Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Janae coming back for another science lesson. Today we're going to be talking about caring for our environment posters and publishing those posters. So on Monday you were working on drafting and finishing up what you had started in class. Today our goals are going to be to revise and edit your poster draft and then to create the published copy of your science poster. Now, we've talked about this rubric before, and I'm going to once again cover up those unnecessary categories. We are going to specifically look at how to get a 4 for this poster. First, we're going to remember what we have to do for content. Remember, boys and girls, content means the things and ideas that are actually in your poster. You're showing us that you know ways to care for your environment. Remember those 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle? You can use those to give us some examples of how to take care of our environment. The second category is presentation. That means how your poster looks. And as we are looking at revising and editing, working on our presentation is a big part of revising and editing. So we want to make sure that our poster is neat and organized. Our poster uses words and pictures that creatively show what we are trying to communicate. The last section is process, and as we talked about on Monday, we're not really going to be able to look at this for this poster because we are not in school. So for our home learning, we are going to focus on the content and the presentation of our science posters. Now, I have a few questions that you can ask yourself as you revise and edit your poster. If you want to go ahead and pause this video, you can grab your draft poster and you can be looking at your poster as we talk about these questions. All right, so our first question is, did you give specific examples of how to care for our environment? Did you give clear examples? And remember, if you use the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, you'll be able to think of a lot of examples in how to care for our environment. Next, did you use both words and pictures to share information? Your poster should not be only words or only pictures. It should use both. You need to check your words and make sure they're spelled correctly. This would be a good opportunity to look at a dictionary or ask your parents or older sibling if you're not sure how to spell one of your words on your poster. Are the pictures drawn neatly? This is important because we want our posters to be simple and clear. All right, and that leads to our last one. Now this one is sometimes the hardest because we have a tendency to keep adding and adding and adding to our posters, when sometimes we need to stop when it's simple and the information is clearly communicated. So this is a good opportunity to look at your poster and see if there's any unnecessary information or unnecessary pictures that you have put on your poster. I'm going to show you a few examples of posters that are not simple and clear. The first example is this one about a superhero picnic. While this sounds like a lot of fun, and they do have good information, it's really hard for me to read everything. I wish they would have separated this and maybe taken away all these extra zigzag lines everywhere, because it would have been much easier to read if the words were separated and organized in a clear and simple way. Now this one is even worse in my opinion because they have the words and the pictures on top of each other. I can honestly barely read what they're trying to tell me. And even though these pictures are interesting of animals, if they had separated the picture from the word, it would have been much, much easier for me to understand. Now this last one is really nicely organized. They use headings and they even do have a picture, but this poster has a lot of words on it. I'm not going to stop and take the time to read all of these words. So I would have appreciated if they had used less words and a few more pictures to teach me what they wanted to teach me about. All right, now I'm going to talk about some good examples of posters, and these are posters that we have looked at on Monday already. So this one is about the healthy daily habits for kids, and this is about the allergy safety rules. So we're going to look at a few things that make these really good posters. First is that both posters use words and pictures, and I really like how this poster shows a picture that matches with the words. They go together. They also use correct spelling. When your words are spelled correctly, it's easier for people to read and understand your poster. I also like that they have clear pictures. Now these ones are kind of funny, but they're still easy to see. I like this one that's a picture of a nut because one of the allergy rules is that you shouldn't share nuts because sometimes people are allergic to nuts. So I like that even though it's a funny picture, it still helps to communicate the same information that the words do. And I also love that these posters are simple and clear. And like I said before, sometimes we like to add and add and add to our posters. Take this chance to look at these posters and see how, because there's not a lot of extra drawings or extra words, it's easy to understand what they're trying to teach us. All right, so now it's time to publish. First, you need to take your draft and spend some time revising and editing. If you want to rewind the video and look back at some of those questions I asked earlier, that might be a good idea. But make sure that your poster is clear and simple. You're going to make your final poster on the thick paper that we gave you, and make sure that you use a pencil to start with, because if you still make a mistake, you can erase it, and that's okay if you make a mistake. We do want you to color all your pictures because colorful posters are much more interesting for people to look at. If you want to, you can trace your words with a black marker, but you don't need to do that. Don't forget to keep it simple and clear. This is one of the biggest things that I want you to work on. Make sure that your poster does not have too many pictures or too many words. Lastly, you are going to take a picture of your final poster and you need to put it in your OneDrive assignment folder on Friday by noon. That gives you 2 days to work on this poster. Make sure to take your time and make sure that it looks excellent. I'm really excited to see your posters, and let us know if you have any questions at all. We would love to help you. All right, see you later.